Eagles. Let's talk about that. You want to talk about their
Yeah, that's fair enough. You might as well be a Cubs fan.
See, we're going to have to end this conversation. So we're going to have to end this conversation.
Yeah, but it was nice talking to you, Novel Fish.
Yeah, no. What were you saying?
Like, no, please tell me again more about how great you are.
Yeah. Let's talk about how great you are right now.
Yeah. That's funny. It's like I'm a Mets fan because I went to the World Series. I'm like, this is my home team, and I'm like, what's happened since? Yeah, exactly. That's how much has happened since. So, yeah, but there was a girl who came up to me after one of the Comic-Con, and she had dressed up like Chuck from Pushing Daisies, and had a pie box from that she got, I don't know, somehow, she made this pie box to make it look like the show and asked me to sign it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, you are a real fan. I'm like, I don't have anything like this. And I love the show. I truly do. And I'm like, this is taking it to a new level. And it was so sincere. She looked up, she's like, hey, I'm a really big fan of the show. And like, it was, those people are, A-level game, players that really are fans of what you do.
They go hard. Hard.
Yeah, totally, man. You got to respect that. It's like, so.
Honestly, I do. And, everybody says that, that's crazy, they're crazy, and all this stuff. I was like, dude.
No, man.
They're real. They're the real deal.
It's a real deal.
Fandom.
Yeah.
When it comes to fandom, I could sit here and say, like, I don't think I'm that hard when it comes to fandom. And people say that I am so hardcore fanboy. I look at them and I go like, I don't think so. You need to go to Comic-Con because they're worse than I am. You think I'm bad, they're worse. And I give them mad.
Hey, man, it's NFL. You know what you want.
I give them mad props.
Absolutely, you do. And that's what. So I'm like, that's what you really enjoy, is to see people who are just truly passionate.
I mean, I could never see myself, and this is why I say that they earned my respect. I could never see myself dressing up as my favorite character, or dressing up, period, when going to those events. I just could not see myself doing that. And the fact that they spend time making costumes, if not buying them, but making them on their own to look like their favorite character, going to these things and seeing people, and not just those who worked on the show in front of the camera, but also fans of those behind the scenes, behind the cameras, and as well as you guys, the composers who make the music happen for these shows, and they know what you do and who you are. That's a huge deal.
It's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's humbling. It really is. I mean, I was trying to have a comparison. I'm like,
I don't think there is any.
I don't like wearing a tie. I mean, like, come on, talk about putting on like an. I mean, I know. I have a girl online that I saw. It's a friend of a friend, and she does all these cosplays so much that, like, making her costumes was so difficult that she had like a cast made of her body so that it was easier to make costumes. I was like, hey, man, everybody's got to have a passion, It's like, that's so. Yeah, that's what it's phenomenal to see the response to something, that how much you can actually touch someone.
Yeah,
because it's evident in how much effort they put into that, and then not only that, like, bringing it to you. This is not, like Silence of the Lamb, like, guy in his place making one suit that's like no one's going to see him in. This is like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to show it to people, and then I'm going to come and talk to you about it.
That's right.
It takes a lot of courage.
Hey, the power to them. I don't think I have it.
Yeah.
And
that's why you have to be respectful about it, because it's like they really it takes a lot of courage. I mean, can you imagine? People get teased for it's like not having the right shoes or something in school. It's like these people are going like, I'm going to be someone else. I'm going to bring it out in public and walk around it like this all day, and then talk to you. Like, I want to talk to you about it. It's not an anonymous thing.
And it's like one of those things where, as you said with the school thing, they have their, you have the kids that have their unique style in school that they would get picked on for. And then you bring that similar style, if not even more verbose of a style, to an event like this. And, you're just showing it out and showing it.
They get to celebrate it.
And they're having fun with it, and other people are loving what they brought to the table, and then they're seeing these people who they admire and look up to also loving what they did. And it's just basically, for me, I just smile at it, and I'm just going like, you go ahead. You just basically put those naysayers to rest, and I'm just like, you just have fun with yourself. And I think that's really one of the best things about it that I love to see. It's just like, you're here, you're having fun, and you don't give a damn what everybody else thinks.
How liberating is that? So
I love it. I love it. And that's why I want to come there and just see that, because I'm just like, I would totally have fun with these people. I would just be like, you're just having fun, and just just have no ounce of fucks to give. And
that's
I think
absolutely
that's great.
Not at all. And it's also interesting. I get to meet, specifically being on some of the panels there, that composers that we don't necessarily hang out all that often, because our lives are professionally pretty solitary. Because you work in silence alone a lot of the times for most of your creation period, aside from the interactions for collaboration. Mm-hmm. And then, so I'm on a panel, I'm like, oh, John Ottman. I'm like, well, we haven't met. And then, like, oh, wow, this guy's really cool. And I end up going out for drinks afterwards, and having a great time. Or Mark Eich, or like Wendy and Lisa, who are like my favorites. Like, there was a time, I think, like, the world's greatest joke came out of my interaction with Wendy and Lisa.
Okay.
And it was one of those things, like, it would only work in, like, this joke could only work in 3 seconds in the history of man. And if I didn't say it then, it wouldn't apply ever. So Lisa was talking, and we got asked a question about talking about using ethnic instruments and world instruments in scores, which they do a lot. And I had to do it specifically as well for a lot of these games and things. And Lisa was saying, she's like, yeah, we want to be sincere about it, because, I would never want to, like, end up playing an instrument from Yugoslavia, like in the wrong way or something, like, And I was like, oh my God, I have the greatest joke of all time. I got to, and I paused her interview. I said, sorry, Lisa, do you mean the country formerly known as?
Oh, God.
Because she was in Princeton the Revolution. So she worked for a guy who had the artist formerly known as, and she just mentioned a country formerly known as. I'm like, this is... Anyway, she's like, what she paused for a second, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, you have to get someone to mention a country's name that doesn't exist anymore, and also used to play with Prince, and also have them at a panel with me for Comic-Con. And it all happened at once, and I was just overwhelmed. I'm like, wait, the country formerly known as... I couldn't contain myself. I was having a blast.
And you just now turned into one of my best friends, ladies and gentlemen, because that is exactly what he would have said. Thank you. That's why I literally just sat there with my head in my hand, and I'm like, oh, he just did that.
Yeah, I was so excited.
And that's exactly what he would have done. He also would have been excited. So let's talk about more how great you are. But if people want to see exactly how great you are online, they can follow you on Twitter, because you have a Twitter at Jim Dooley Music.
Yep.
I will follow you over there, since I wasn't before, but I will now. So.
Yeah, I've been actually tweeting much more. I've had the account for a while, but actually I'm starting to use that, and it's been really interesting. I've had like one girl contact me on Twitter who's using who's a fan of Pushing Daisies, who's using one of my songs that I wrote for Dorothy of Oz that Megan Hilty sang, and this girl's using it for her college audition. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I would have never known this if I hadn't been on Twitter. Because this person is a college student, they wouldn't have necessarily lots of, access to each other.
Right.
But posted this thing, and I'm like, how cool is that? And so, I follow her on Twitter, and she's like, oh my God, I'm losing my mind. Like, Jim Dooley is following me on Twitter. I'm like, wow, I made this girl's day. It was one click, but she's, cares about the music. I'm like, well, of course. It's an interesting way to make some connections that are not intense, but sincere.
Oh, absolutely. I love Twitter. I mean, it's probably, I'm on it at least 16 hours a day, so,
it's like my favorite Twitter is only when Josh Groban sings Kanye's tweets.
Well, everybody's got their something. That's
have you seen that when Josh Groban sings the tweets?
No, I've never seen that.
Oh my God, it's on one of the Jimmy Kimmel things, and so Josh Groban, he's at the piano singing Kanye West's tweets.
Oh, see, now I'm gonna have to watch this because
black is the new black. Whatever happened to my antique fishbowl? I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome.
I make awesome decisions in bike stores.
See, this is just another reason to love Jimmy Kimmel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying.
Oh, it was great. Not only that, I was just watching today, Celebrity Mean Tweets number 8
Celebrity
came
Mean
out.
Tweets. I didn't get to see it the other night, so I have to watch it tonight because that is literally my favorite segment on his show. So I didn't get to see the new one yet.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I gotta watch it. I think.
Yeah, I won't even refer. Just go enjoy that one.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about it until after I watch it. I'll tweet you about it for sure. But see how that came into play? I will tweet him about when I watch Jimmy Kimmel's Celebrity Me Tweet segment after I watch it tonight, for sure. But while you guys follow him on Twitter, you can also get the soundtrack for SOCOM 3 and SOCOM Combined Assault at lalalandrecords.com since it is now available. And I am sure, Mr. Dooley, we will be doing another conversation for sure. I would love to have you back here, no doubt.
Well, thank you very much. You made this really easy. As I said before, it's not hard to get a composer talking about themselves. It's we're generally self-centered people. But it's great that you actually have a great sense of humor about stuff because it's not always the way. I've had interviews sometimes where there was one where you got my name wrong, like in the interview. And I was like,
that's not good.
So like, yeah, you're. And I'm like, don't Greg Louganis my interview. So no, it's been an absolute pleasure. So I do appreciate that.
Oh, thank you very much, and pleasure was all mine. I appreciate you coming by here, and we'll definitely be on the lookout for you for sure.
Awesome.
All right, man. Take care, Jim Dooley. Everybody, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, continue to be awesome.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Many thanks to Jim Dooley for stopping by the podcast today. You can follow him on Twitter at Jim Dooley Music. You can also pick up the soundtrack of SOCOM 3 at lalalandrecords.com. That's going to do it for me for right now. I'm Novell J. Lee, making sure you keep getting the latest buzz with Buzzworthy Radio by logging on to our website at buzzworthyradiocast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at Buzzworthy Radio and liking us on our Facebook page. We'll see you guys next time. Take care.
From Twitter to iHeartRadio, Buzzworthy is everywhere. Miss the show? Log on to buzzworthyradiocast.com for past shows and videos of some of your favorite stars. Stay connected to Buzzworthy Radio.